Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome to learnarabic.com. Now in this tutorial I'm going to take you through the written and spoken forms of the Arabic alphabet. And in front of you you can see a bird's eye view of the Arabic letters arranged into a plain format. So the first thing to note is you can see that there are many letters which come in families or pairs, families or couples. You can see at the front of the plane here we see two sets of families which have very similar basic structures, and so we have these three here and another three on this side, on the left hand side, the same basic structure, and the only difference is the presence or absence of certain dots which we call diacritical marks, which appear either above or below. Now on the right wing we can see three pairs, again similar structures to each other, differing only in the presence and absence of dots, and likewise on the left wing we have another three set of pairs, all having similar structures. Now this makes it very easy to learn the Arabic alphabet because essentially in the first half of the plane, the front half of the plane, you have the majority of the Arabic letters, and because they are mostly in pairs and also families, then it makes memorizing them very, very easy. Now moving towards the back of the plane, we can see there are a number of letters which kind of resemble each other in a way. We can say that they are relatives of each other. They have a generally similar appearance. You can see these two here and likewise these two here. And then right at the back we have these six characters which don't really have any resemblance to the ones which have preceded at the front. And of these three on the left hand side receive special treatment. And again, to understand that, I suggest you go to learnarabic.com and register and just jump into the videos which elaborate upon this in more detail. So let's make a start at the front of the plane. And so the first character we have is called Hamza. Hamza is a special, unique character and is written like this. Now Hamza is a consonant, and Hamza is often found with other letters. It will be found with the alif like this, or it will be below the alif like this, and it will also be found with these two characters here, the waw and the ya. Okay, next we have the letter alif, and this letter is a simple downward stroke like this, and this is its isolated form at the top when this letter is alone. And the alif, when it is found within words, can really only take one of two forms, the one that you see right here or the one here like this, and this is when it is in the middle or the end of a word. And so essentially all of the letters, they can either be in the beginning, middle or end positions. Some of them have different forms for each of those three positions, and some of them, because of their nature, in the sense that they do not connect or join with anything which comes after them, they only have two forms, and alif is one of those letters. Next we have the letter ba, and the letter ba is one of a family of three, and so this is written like this with a dot underneath, like that, with a dot underneath. It's only one of two letters which have a dot underneath its main body. At the bottom we have ba when it comes at the beginning of a word, when it is joined to what comes after it. Ba, again a simple stroke like this and a dot underneath like this. And in the middle of a word it is like this, just a slight little raise, like a slight little hill that goes up, and again like that. At the end you see it comes back to its normal shape pretty much. That's the letter ba. Next we have the letter ta, and the letter ta is almost identical to ba except with the two dots which appear at the top. Now in written form, in written script, you can just do a horizontal line like this, or you can put the two dots like this, but as you proceed into learning how to write script, you will see that there are different conventions or different styles. One of those is simply to do a horizontal line to represent 2 dots. And again at the beginning, and then in the middle of a word, and at the end of a word. Now the letter ta has some other variations, and the reason for those variations is to avoid confusion in words, because there are certain scenarios and situations in which if the letter ta was left as it is, like here, it would then make the word be confused with other words. So in order to distinguish, then the ta also has this form when it appears at the end of a word. So this is ta at the very end of a word, and again like this at the end. So these three from here onwards, this one here at the end, and these are 3 ways that ta can appear at the end of a word. Next we have the last in this family, the letter tha, and this has 3 dots, and again it can be written in 2 ways. You can write it like this as well, and that would appear in certain styles of script. And the initial or the beginning position and the middle and final are fairly straightforward, and likewise the middle here, 3 dots, middle here, or we can go like this, like that, and at the end. Next we have the letter Jim, and Jim is the first of the next family of 3, and this goes like that, with a dot in the middle of the character, in the middle of the main body, like this. And at the beginning it appears like this, the beginning of a word, and then in the middle it's simply joined to what comes before it, and then the same symbol. And notice that it loses the main part of its body here. It retains the dot but loses the main part of the body, and so this symbol at the top and the dot are the characteristic feature of the letter Jim. So again like this, and then at the end of a word we see it take its original form. Next we have the second member in this family, which is the letter ha, and this is one of those awkward letters to pronounce because it comes from the throat region, from the middle throat region. This is just like the letter Jim, and it loses the dot. And so again this is fairly straightforward, at the beginning, then at the middle, and then at the end. Next we have the letter Kha, and this is the same as what has preceded. It has a dot on the top. Once again Kha, and once again in its isolated form. At the beginning we see that it loses the main part of its body, and again at the beginning Kha, then in the middle it is joined to what comes before it, a dot at the top, once more Kha, and then finally at the end we see that the full shape comes back again, the dot at the top. So this completes our second family of 3.